If you listen carefully to what I said in Rochester, you got to listen to it carefully. If you're looking just to be riled up and, cheer or something, you're going to miss it. You got to listen to carefully what I said. I said that the African-American Muslim community is in a unique position to invite the American people to appreciate on a higher level and on a fundamental level America's original purity. We have a connection with it and an understanding of it that's on a higher level. And we have the ability to translate its meaning with the support of the Quran in addressing the problems of scriptural communities that preceded Prophet Muhammad's leadership. And that's what America is. It's that environment. And only the people who are the representatives of the covenant relationship with God are equipped to address it in this moment. It's a dangerous time in the United States of America. And you have to have leadership that knows that knows the power of fire and water, and knows how to put out fire with water. You know the saying, fight fire with fire? That's a saying from the devil. That's nothing but an explosion. No, you don't fight fire with water. I mean, with fire. You fight fire with water and an extinguishing agent. And what is water? Purity. Purity. And what is an extinguishing agent? Knowledge. Fire extinguisher is the combination of chemicals that come by way of the study of the natural world, right? But what's first? What's the most powerful weapon in the arsenal of the firefighter? Water. Now, if you can translate that knowledge into language that represents principles and can grow into systems, you have a place in the leadership of the United States of America, and a valued place. And we have been equipped for that. Now, if you know of an imam who's making these kind of arguments and presenting this, please let me know who they are so I can support them. I'll be a foremost supporter of them. And we should promote that. But in saying that, we should also support and defend that Imam W.D. Muhammad, his leadership, and what he represented continues. It is alive and it is working. And that is what is meant by his leadership is succeeded. You have to have strength, courage, and confidence to represent that in these cities. And this is the time to tell brothers, for example. Brother says to you, "Assalamu alaikum, brother, how are you?" And you know that that person is involved in activities that are untoward. This is the time. Hey, don't give me Islamic greetings until you clean your affair. Straighten your ass out. That's the way to talk to these brothers. You're not supporting leadership. You're not supporting Imam Earl Abdul Malik Muhammad. You're not supporting Imam W.D. Muhammad's succession. Get out of my face until you strengthen yourself. I don't have anything to say to you, brother, until you strengthen yourself. Oh, it's like that? Yeah, it's absolutely like that. Now, I'm not talking about the sisters have to do this. The brothers, the men, this is what you have to do. It's absolutely like that. Our condition is deplorable in these cities, in these masjids. We have to straighten this affair out, and we have to support leadership. If you can't support, don't even call me, don't greet me, because your greeting is hypocrisy. And if you don't have the courage to do that, you can't stand with me. Not now. Maybe we'll see you down the road. You understand me? That's where we are right now. Assalamu alaikum, brother. How you doing? I'm doing fine, brother. How are you doing? Because I don't see you supporting nothing. I see you going through the motions. I see you reminiscing. I see you being nostalgic, but I don't see you active in anything productive now. Well, here's something that you should be supporting. Well, I can't support that, brother. Then get the hell out of my face. That's where we are. And it's going to take men and women with that kind of commitment to push through so that we will have the environment. You know, you have to prepare the environment for your seeds. And sometimes the environment will be harsh. You can't go in that environment, that harsh environment, and not have prepared for that harshness. You got to till the soil, the soil be cold and hard. You got to get down way beneath the surface and get the best of the soil and bring it up to the surface so that you can plant your seeds in a secure environment. And then the natural world and God's favor will rain itself down. But if you're not ready to dig down deep into that earth and puncture that surface, that hard surface, what help you giving to me? Our life is not tied to necessarily what happens in the White House. It's not tied directly to it, where we are dependent on it. But we can't ignore the influence. We can't ignore the sanctity of the discussion of the importance of the office. It's got to be on our spirit and in our minds. And so when I say to you, and I said this in Rochester, if you want to look at a credible candidate for that office, you're looking at it. And what do I mean by that? Do I mean that I'm running for president or that I'm electable as president? That's not what I mean. What I mean is the character, the disposition, the emphasis, the language, and the determination, asking for the support of God in the context of recognition of the original purity of the American idea is the kind of person you want in that office at this time. And Cornel West is not it. The person in that office at this time has to be a person who has been influenced and accepts the influence of divine guidance and accords themselves with the requirements of divine guidance. More than ever before in the history of the American people, the office of the President of the United States is focused as a moral office. And there is no better person to speak through the power of that office than the successor of Imam W. Dean Muhammad. Now, if you think that that's the talk of a cult leader, you're a fool. You don't know anything about Islam. You don't know anything about Muhammad the Prophet's leadership. If you think that has cult aspirations. Speaking to the dignity of the human person and supporting the progress of that human person upon that recognition of its inherent dignity is not the appeal of cult leadership. I wish you would bring your argument to me. I wish you would sit here with me before these people and make your argument and let me make mine. If it take you 3 hours to make your argument, I'll sit here for 3 hours and listen to you carefully and intently with respect. It won't take me 3 hours. It'll take me 15 minutes or less. You hear that, Josiah? Don't be in doubt about where you should be. You be with strength and courage and faith. You stand with men who stand with strength and courage and faith. And you be an example for your companions and your peer group. You tell them, I ain't going that way, brother. I'm going this way. And whatever they're doing that's weakening them, you be an example to strengthen them. Say, well, what happened to you? How come you not? I'm not going that way, man. You ain't wasting my time. But you want to be with me? You want to be my friend? Let's walk together on this path. And that goes for the women that you invite into your life. Same thing. They have to complement that interest. You want to be with me? Yeah, I'm handsome and strong and I got a bright future. You want to be with me? This is what I'm doing. Well, I don't know anything about that. Well, then inform yourself. I go to this class and I'm informing myself. I invite you to go too. And let's go together. Let's build our life. That should be your motivation, young man. And I'm not imposing that on you. I'm not forcing you. I'm inviting you. This is the kind of leadership that we need. Bring these young people to me. Bring them to me. Men and women, girls and boys, bring them to me. Let them hear me. You'll see something different.
I wanted to ask you, in light of what happened yesterday with the former president, uh, what should our thinking and reaction or response be to situations such as that?
First of all, violence, in particular political violence, should always be something that we treat as surprising, even if we're not surprised by it. We should always say to the people that this is a surprising development. And that says that it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. The American system, though it has flaws, is a system that respects, or at least wants to respect, the intelligence of its supporters or its citizens. Our system to select a leader is in the hands, at least in standard or expectation, it's in the hands of the best informed citizens. If people choose not to be informed, that's their choice. But opportunity to inform yourself is availed to you as an American citizen to make an informed choice. The president of the United States is not a king. He is not coronated. He is elected, or she. There's a process. And the process intends to respect the intelligence of the people. Built into the process is a kind of conflict. But the conflict is not intended to be, or not supposed to be, negative. It's to draw out the distinctions in the appeal of the leadership, and to draw out or distinguish which particular emphasis is of a higher nature or best suits the best interest of the people. Attempts to manipulate that process cheat not only the process, but cheat the dignity of the citizens. There's nothing that is more at the center of a democracy than an informed populace that is free to choose. And that even a person representing an extreme, the populace is informed and can choose against that person. To insert a violent act so as to coerce that process weakens the system. And so credible and responsible observers and leaders must condemn such activity, no matter if we think that that person representing that extreme is suitable or credible or legitimate. The process itself, if we honor the process, it will bring forward the best candidates supported by the most informed and credible of the citizens. So we condemn the act. And it's not even a question of whether or not we favor one candidate over another. It's a question of the process being usurped to force something into the life of the people. So even, for example, the discussion about President Biden stepping down from being in consideration to be reelected and passing the that place on the Democratic ticket to the vice president. I don't favor that. I favor bringing before the American people several persons to look at in addition to the vice president. That there should be a process that several people are considered, and let the people who are of the Democratic Party choose from a selection of people rather than it just fall into the vice president. Now, we know that in our system of government, if while in office something happens to the president, then it does go to the vice president. But in this instance, it's a different situation. And it's not to say that the vice president is not qualified. She wouldn't be in the office if she wasn't qualified. But the question is she the best suited for the office in this moment? So we're living in a very dangerous time in the world. We know that there was a leader of Iran died in an accident, and there's question about what happened. And leadership generally is there's a movement to weaken it, to trivialize it. And we see that obviously also in our community. It's affected us. So don't think that some fool will not, drawn from what they saw, what just happened yesterday, won't try to take a shot at your leader. It happens as a movement in the spirit of the people that has been introduced to them or invited. They've been invited into that spirit by the enemy of society. So you take a shot at one leader, it becomes easier for somebody else to take a shot at another leader, and so on and so forth. So we have to be thoughtful about this, very thoughtful and careful, very deliberate in our acts, and also very responsible in what we say in commentary on what we're observing. We might not like Mr. Trump. I know personally I don't favor him. but he's the choice of a big number of the American people. So because another group doesn't like him as a candidate, is justified for them to take a shot at him? No. That doesn't help anything. It hurts. It hurts us. It hurts the country. So now you got, extremist people who even more entrenched. They're already dangerous. Now they become more dangerous. So we have to be thinking about the security of our country and speak to that security.